is communication.
This is going to be on the warm side again with temperatures 90s. Possibility of a few clouds building up in the afternoon, giving us
This is communication.
Other than that, a continued fair day over all the countryside.
This is communication. This is communication. And this is communication. Every day, all of us see, hear, and learn by means of communication. This is a big word that means giving and receiving information by speaking, writing, or signaling. We use communication in different ways every day. It is necessary if we are going to enjoy things together and learn to live together. We often use the simple motions that were probably the first means of communication used by man. They not only pointed with their arms, but drew pictures to show other people what had happened to them. Communication has come a long way from the ring of the bell and the toot of the whistle. Now we can look in the newspaper and see printed pictures of what happened around the world during the day just past. We can send our own messages by letter to almost any place on earth for just a few pennies. Dick was awakened this morning by his alarm clock. It was communicating the news to him by sound that it was time to get up. Before he left for school, Dick looked at the calendar to see how many days until vacation. Communication by sight. Dick's friend, Johnny, called for him to come and walk together to school. Communication by voice. As the two boys started down the street, they waved to their friend Joe. Communication by signal. In school, the boys and girls were learning their lessons by different forms of communication. They read from a book. They listened to the teacher explain the problem. And they wrote the answer on paper. People use communication in many different ways. You probably have looked at a thermometer to tell how warm the air was on a hot day. The railroad engineer uses light signals to tell him whether the track ahead is clear. He uses the engine's air horn to warn people that the train is coming through. This farmer checks his barometer to learn whether rain may be on its way. If someone in your family gets sick, perhaps Mother will use the telephone to call the doctor. Telephones are one of our handiest means of communicating with other people. When you want to know the answer to some question on your mind, you can look in the encyclopedia, where information on nearly every subject can be found easily. Books are one of our most used forms of communication. We watch television for entertainment and the latest news. Communication by sound waves. Here, one person can speak to millions who see and hear him the very instant he is saying the words. The umpire at a ball game uses hand signals to communicate his decision on a play. You can tell at a glance how many strikes he has called against the batter. The railroad brakeman also uses arm signals to tell the engineer to move the cars. Babies let us know when they are hungry. This communication gets results. When we see a band coming down the street, the music communicates a rhythm that makes us want to march along. Lighthouses have been built along our seacoast to communicate a warning to ships when they come close to shore. This flashing light has saved many lives that might have been lost on the jagged rocks. Perhaps you never thought of it, but the communication of phonograph records can help you learn to speak a foreign language. We receive a warning of danger ahead on curving highways from road signs such as this. Moving signs show airplane pilots which direction the wind is blowing. You are learning about the ways we use communication in daily living from this moving picture. Communication itself. Man is in using sight or sound as a means of communicating with others. If you have ever visited a farm, you probably saw a mother hen call her baby chicks for choice bits of food, or warn them to scurry for shelter when danger is near. A barking dog is giving a warning to stay away, but his wagging tail tells his master all is well. Our means of communication have improved during the past 50 years so that the human voice can be sent around the world by radio faster than it can be shouted from one end of a football field to the other. We can look at a weekly news magazine and see pictures in color of events that happened thousands of miles away just a few days ago. Most of these wonderful things did not exist 100 years ago. But men saw the need for better communication with others and worked on it until they brought forth the marvels of sight and sound we all can enjoy today.